Just move around a little bit more.
Your body is like a house, and it's continually moving towards entropy or disorganization. And if you live in a house, sometimes you go into someone's house and they're a person that's a little bit more like fastidious, and they're kind of like, they're sweeping and they do a dish, they make some food, and then they clean the dish. They get out of their bed, the bed's messy, they make their bed. That's some people, the way that they live in their house. Some people, they just let shit pile up. And eventually that piled up stuff becomes mold, and then becomes rats, becomes cockroaches. It's like disgusting to live in. It's disgusting to be around. Eventually they get accustomed to that. It's just normal. And they're like, this, what smell? But someone else that comes in that has some level of home hygiene, they walk into that house, they're like, oh my God, bro. Like, why don't you take care of this?
Yeah.
Like, that literally is the experience of living inside of a body. And throughout the day, a person that engages in those subtle little twists and turns, and I just choose to take a walking meeting, and I choose to relax my eyes and get them out of the screen for a little bit, and I choose to look up at sunlight, and I choose to do the panoramic vision thing, and I choose to maybe meditate every now and again, or some kind of mindfulness practice, or I just choose to kind of like twist my neck a little bit, or I choose to stand on a standing desk while I'm doing my work, or maybe I even souped it up more and I got one of those little treadmill desks. I just keep on cleaning, baby. And like, that's a very different house to live in than the person that just sits in a sedentary way. No judgment. There's not one that's moralistically better or worse, but the effect of that excessive sedentary lifestyle, it becomes, I think, like deeply toxic. And I think that's like one of the main issues, or the longest levers that we have access to for healthcare, is just getting people to like clean out all those nooks and crannies throughout their body with just a little basic movement. Sorry for being a little soapboxy.
Well, you got to build some sort of resistance to the most obvious thing. The most obvious thing is like, it's so easy to overeat. There's just such an abundance of food everywhere. I think for most people, even people in the fitness industry, it's really easy to, say, oh man, I got like all this activity, so I need, 300 grams of protein and I need 300 grams of carbs. Like, well, need is a pretty strong word. Maybe you don't have that much activity to where you need that amount of food, but I think the activity is the thing that is going to be part of what's keeping you in shape, along with your relationship to your calories in. You have a relationship with your calories out. But if you can stay tethered to one or the other, and or both would be ideal. But you can lose one here and there. It's fine. Mm-hmm. You go on vacation, and for whatever, like, you only love training in the gym. Yeah, and so you decide on your vacation that
spokes in a wheel,
that you don't lift, and that's going to be totally fine. It's going to be a wash. It's not going to matter. It actually could be quite productive. When you come back, you might be thirsty or hungry to go back into the gym again.
Yeah. That was a Laird Hamilton suggest. We just recorded him like a month ago, so it's fresh. But that was one of the analogies that we had I think we used for a social clip, so it's in my mind. But he's saying like, this is like all those different little activities that you engage in, health-inducing activities, that are like spokes in a wheel.
Yep.
And if you're a person that has one spoke, your spoke is, whatever. You buy some kind of fancy crystal blessed spirit water, like, that's my spoke. Everything else, I'm a complete piece of shit. Like, it's not going to roll real good.
Right.
But if you're like, no, bro, like, I have so much insulation through my, like, we have so many spokes, like, I can eat like an asshole. It's not a big deal. I can have a weekend bender and it's like, it's not that big a deal. Like, I have so much insulation in my wheel. I can remove 10 spokes for a weekend and it's no problem. But if you don't have much spokes in your wheel, you affect one, and it's like, you really feel the disturbance.
It's a practice. It's legitimately a practice. You're practicing it as often as you can, and not even always in a reasonable way.
Yeah.